Hey friends, welcome to a bonus mini episode in Series 3. This one's for the overthinkers, the spiraling minds, the folks who rehearse every conversation in their head 3 times. And if you've ever felt stuck in a loop or disconnected from your body because your thoughts are going a mile a minute, we see you.
We indeed do. We call it rumination station. And if you live there, we get it. It's the place where your brain is running on a simulation loop, trying to solve something it can't feel its way through. But we want to offer you a new destination. Validation station. It's where your needs actually get noticed and met. It's the place where we slow down, listen to ourselves, and offer our nervous system the care it's been craving. And to get there, we've got to help your brain stop working so hard and bring your body back online.
In this episode, we're going to share some tools to help interrupt the swirl, reconnect to sensation, and start creating a felt sense of safety, not just an intellectual one. These are body first, quick and practical. We want you to walk away from this episode with 5 real tools you can use when your thoughts won't quit. No pressure, no performance, just nervous system care that meets you where you are.
Let's get into it. If it feels okay, pause for a moment and notice your physical body. Are your shoulders creeping up? Is your jaw clenched? See if you can let one small part of you soften. Maybe your hands or your eyes. Even a tiny shift counts.
Or if you're feeling a little buzzy or floaty, try pressing your feet into the floor or touching something textured nearby. You don't have to feel grounded to begin grounding. Noticing sensation is a start. This is a chance to meet yourself where you are without forcing anything. So many of us learn to stay in our heads because it's safer there. For some of us, the body can feel like too much, too loud, too intense, or even too quiet or numb. And sometimes being in your head is what helped you survive. It kept you alert, scanning, and trying to stay one step ahead.
That is a wonderful paragraph that kind of sums up, I feel like, a lot of questions my clients have. And overthinking is often a protective part of like your brain, of your nervous system. And when we over rely on the brain, we're giving all the power to what's essentially an organic computer, constantly trying to solve a problem it can't actually feel. That's what rumination is. The brain trying to think its way out of something that needs to be felt. It makes sense, especially when those loops feel familiar. But familiar doesn't always mean safe. It just means it's what your system has practiced. Overthinking can feel oddly comforting, even when it's distressing, because it's part of a familiar cyclical pattern. But it also keeps us from inhabiting a safe and regulated state in our bodies.
Mm-hmm. And that's where those somatic tools come in. They really create a bridge between your brain and your body. And you're not leaping into the deep end of feelings. You're dipping a toe into presence little by little. And when you build trust with your body, overthinking doesn't have to run the show.
And let's be real. If you've spent years thinking your way through life, it's not that easy to suddenly shift gears.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, magical thinking. And I think that those magical thinking errors can be barriers to that recovery process, but it's possible. So let's share a few practices that we've seen work really well when the mind is on overdrive and the body feels far away.
Our first tool is something we call weighted noticing. So you can do this seated or standing. Take a pillow or a weighted object, or press your hands firmly into your thighs and feel the contact. Let your awareness stay there, noticing pressure, even noticing temperature, texture. You might describe it to yourself silently or out loud. And this is about redirecting attention, not forcing calm. That's kind of an oxymoron, forcing calm.
Yes, the old adage, calm down, by somebody that is basically asking you to regulate their nervous system in that moment because they don't know how to do it.
Yep.
And as you were reading that, I was actually practicing just pushing my hands into my thighs and just connecting to that. It's pretty cool just to feel kind of the system go into more of a kind of experience. I don't know how to verbalize that, or I don't know what the clinical terminology is. That I'm going to explain that the best right now, but ultimately try it out, everybody. It's pretty effective. The second one, this is another one I'm absolutely humongously fond of. It's one that actually helped me through my own recovery. And it is the cold temperature reset. You're going to either try holding an ice cube, running cold water over your wrists, or taking a chilled drink and focusing on the sensation. Cold helps jolt us out of cognitive loops and into present moment awareness. I think that's why people like the cold plunge, or they like ending their showers, right, with seriously cold water. For some, are like, what are you doing? That seems horrible. And the nervous system is like, hey, I actually really appreciate that. Thank you. Getting more regulated with ice is very effective.
It's true. It's something I do every day. Like, in the shower, condition it with cold water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other one that we have, name 5 sensations. So I'm looking around and noticing 5 physical sensations in your environment. Touch, texture, pressure, temperature, or movement. This is really going to anchor your attention to your surroundings and give you that sense of control. In a sense, it gives your brain that sensation. Oh, she's naming things in her surroundings. She's really grounded and aware.
Yeah, naming to tame, almost like that. Giving brain information is what brain, remember, if it's an overdrive, it believes it has to have all the answers. And so one way to kind of soothe it through that is naming some of those simple things in your environment. So number 4 is compression, or hug hold. Wrap your arms around your body. Place a hand under one arm and the other on the opposite shoulder, or lean your back into a wall or couch. Feel the containment. This mimics co-regulation and can send a signal of safety to your system. So it's going to help your physiology regulate, getting your brain back online. Brain doesn't know if it's happening or not. You just get to do it and allow the process to happen.
Mm-hmm. And our last tool is anchor breath. If your breath is accessible, try inhaling through your nose for a slow count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling through your mouth for a slow count of 4. If counting feels like too much, simply exhale longer than you inhale. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and cues that safety.
This week's nugget includes 2 body-based tools that were originally developed by the late Dr. Karen Purvis out of TCU, and later expanded by educator Lori Desautels to support children in foster care and educational settings. These tools were designed as part of Trust-Based Relational Intervention, TBRI, a trauma-informed care model developed by Dr. Purvis and her team to support children from hard places. TBRI emphasizes felt safety, connection, and self-regulation, principles that apply beautifully to people of all ages. I absolutely loved getting this training. I worked in a setting with children that were like from homes of adoption, from just, some difficult situations overall. And these skills that we learned worked. It it was really cool. And so I just began teaching these to adults as well. And pretty much anybody that comes into contact with me probably is going to learn one of these skills that I have picked up through TBRI.
The first tool is the ladybug hug. Hold out your hands in front of you with palms facing down. Then gently curl your fingers so your fingertips press into the palms, almost like your hands are making little ladybug feet. You then press or tap your fingers rhythmically into the palm. This gentle, repetitive motion gives tactile input to the brain and nervous system, and it's often used to promote calm and regulation.
The second is the magic mustache. Take your index finger and place it gently above your upper lip, pressing lightly under your nose. I don't know if you guys have seen people that have tattoos of like little mustaches on their fingers, and that was kind of a craze or a trend for a little bit. This is genuinely pretty awesome. This is an area that's rich in sensory nerves, and light pressure here can help activate that parasympathetic nervous system, inviting ease and softness. It's a quiet way to offer your system reassurance. And I also like to use it for executive functioning when I'm struggling to task switch. And little kids can, we say they're resistant or defiant, and it's actually like not quite. Their nervous system isn't in a regulated enough state to want to do that task. And so magic mustache, I use that with my kids who are now teenagers. So many miracles, genuinely magical, using that tool with them.
It is pretty rad. I was just doing it, and it's pretty awesome. And, overall, what's beautiful about these tools is how simple and portable they are. You don't need any equipment or a private space. You just need a moment. And they were designed with care for those who've really experienced that overwhelm and that dysregulation and that trauma too.
They also help build interoception, your brain's ability to sense what's happening inside your body. Over time, that internal awareness becomes a powerful anchor. The more you practice tuning in, the easier it becomes to notice your needs and respond with compassion. One of my clients used to describe her anxiety as a thought tornado. Together, we found grounding practices that felt safe. Cold water on her wrists, holding an ice cube, or simply lying down on the floor and naming 5 things she could feel. She'd say, "I don't know if it's working," but then she'd yawn or tear up. Her body was showing signs of softening. Those moments were her signals that her parasympathetic nervous system was activating. That is what we want. So over time, her tornado started to quiet. Not because she outthought it, but because her body finally had another option. Her nervous system was building new pathways. Tiny, powerful options for something different.
What's one moment in your day when you tend to spiral into your head? And what might help you anchor back into your body in that moment? Is there a cue you could offer yourself?
It can be small. A breath, the feel of your shirt sleeve, a pause, a sip of water, a hand to your chest. No fixing, just noticing.
We hope this little episode gave you something useful, something small you can hold on to the next time your thoughts start to take over, something that brings you back to yourself, even for a moment. These tools aren't about silencing your mind. They're about giving your body a way to join the conversation. And remember, moving from rumination to validation isn't about perfection. It's about practice. Each moment you turn toward yourself with care, you're already doing that work.
And remember, healing isn't linear, and we're here for the ride. Thanks for sitting with us today. If something resonated, we'd love it if you shared the episode, left a review, or connected with us on social media. We're two therapists walk into a podcast on most platforms. You can listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not therapy, does not replace therapy, and does not establish a therapist-client relationship. If you're in crisis, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional or call 988 in the US. Robin Green is a licensed therapist in Arizona, and Stephanie Edsall is licensed in Utah. And this podcast is intended for a general audience.